apocalypse.
What is going on, guys? This is your man KleverThumbs, and I'm bringing you another Division 2 build video. Now this is actually going to be the build video for that hybrid DPS hazard build that I recently put the gameplay out to, and the one that I have been using in my streams along with the DZ troll build, the Run a Man build. So I just want to start by saying thank you guys a lot. Like I've been saying in every single video, you guys are really freaking awesome. The community is growing and it's shining. I'm actually going to start up a Discord server here shortly with a little bit of help from a couple people, and hopefully we get rock and rolling. But if you guys are new to this channel, definitely hit that like button, subscribe as well, and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys do know when I go live, because I go live pretty frequent. I try to. You know, I got work, family, and everything, so doing it all at the same time, we're all gonna grind, and I'm just gonna keep on showing you this amazing content. So let's get right into this build video. So this is a hazard protection build. I have 87% across the board. I'm gonna tell you exactly. There's different ways to run hazard protection. This is versatile, unbreakable. Obviously, SMG shoddy is the way to go to maximize and utilize the versatile to its max potential. So I really like this setup. I've seen different ways to run this. I actually have a 511 hazard protection build as well with the exotic holster, which is more of an annoying thing to run, but I actually like this build. There's no 511 involved, and it does require you to have at least on your watch the hazard protection unlocked, and more than likely that critical hit damage and critical hit chance would not hurt at all. But for the hazard, I want to say it is required on your watch. So let's jump right into this. For the specializations, I am using the firewall. It's really good, you know, armor on break, med kit. If you guys are, I think if you're close, if allies are close to you within 5 meters, you get like 10% weapon damage or something like that. So you know, it's really good to run around. And I'm actually going to tell you something beneficial that probably no one's ever told you, and if they have, congrats, because this is kind of new to me, but I do have extensive testing to do. But let's jump right into this build before I tell you guys everything. I am using the tactical vector SBR 9mm. You know, I am famous for running this little vector. It shreds. Favorite talent to use on it is Optimus. I would say strained. You could probably go strained if you use the other vector. There's 3 different vectors. This one has 53 in the mag, you know, which has an extra amount than 39, and the extra 14 actually makes a huge difference, but there's a 10k base damage drop between these two. So this is 57 and that one's 70, you know what I mean? So pick your poison. Either way, it's gonna shine. It's a vector, you get the versatile. So that's the talent that I use, is Optimus. Now for the shotgun, I'm gonna make this a quick video. So the Marine Super 90 is my way to go. 15% shotgun damage, 12% damage to armor, and 10% damage to targets out of cover. Again, Optimus is one of my favorite talents this patch, so I do like it a lot. And I like strain as well. You know, there's different ways to run different things, but Optimus is really good. Now a lot of people have actually been saying, why don't you use that Mate 70? It hits a lot harder, and you know, I'm not doubting it that it does, or saying that it doesn't, but there's certain scenarios where people usually get hit one time and they go and pop a med kit, you know what I mean? You know, I do it sometimes too. Right before you're about to fight 4 people, you gotta do what you gotta do. But what I'm trying to say is that one dude that's gonna go pop his med kit, with this Marine Super 90, the amount of RPMs and versus the damage and the time to kill, it puts beautiful damage out, especially when you hit them with versatile. They're like, what? This efficient didn't work? This medkit's not? What? Yeah, nah, people get shocked. Oh, he's running a shotgun. I've heard it all, trust me. Marine Super 90 is my go-to. It's just my opinion. Now, I'm going to give you a pro gamer tip right now. So, I'm running hazard protection myself, right? But I do have that DZ troll build where I do have the I do have, where is it? It's down here. You know what I mean? I have the exotic holster. It's a tank. We're not talking about this right now, but for this build particularly, anybody who's running hazard protection, 100% fire resistance, I think I might have found a way around it. Do have extensive testing to do, as I was saying earlier, but my sidearm is actually the fire starter. I'm not going for the 1.1 million damage. I'm not going for the shotgun or health damage. I'm actually going here for the talent. Primer rounds. Damaged enemies lose 50% burn resistance for 5 seconds. So if I'm fighting another hazard protection build, and you know, just say I'm in a 4v4, and one of my teammates has some type of exotic holster or fire starter build, or something like that, I can easily shoot the guy who has 100% hazard protection. He's going to lose 50% burn resistance, and he's going to burn for half the time of the status effects applied to him. So for 5 seconds, I would say, depending on how much hazard versus the status effect that the guy is using. But this is actually something that I have to do some testing, so I will get back to this on you. I'll get back to you on this, so definitely don't quote me on this, but hopefully it works. I don't see why not. Shooting somebody and then just like timing it with your exotic holster. Wow. People are going to be freaked out on how they are catching on fire when they're not supposed to. But that's just a little pro tip right there. Let's get right into the build. 2-piece Seska for the critical hit chance and the hazard protection. I have 13.9 weapon damage, 9.6 hazard protection, and 12% critical hit damage. I do have a mod on here for 9.8 burn resistance. Now for the chest piece, I am running, let's see, the Gila, which gives me the 5% total armor. I do have 120k armor on here, which, you know, I would love to have max on here. 9.5 hazard protection and 10.1 critical hit damage, along with a mod of 9.5 bleed resistance. So Unbreakable, when your armor is depleted, repairs 50% of your armor. I know it doesn't say 50, but if you guys do toggle your stats, go down to show PvP, it actually says 50% right there. In case you guys did not know, but a lot of people should know that PvP stats and PvE stats sometimes are different depending on what you're running. So Unbreakable, you get 50%. Now for the second Seska piece, it's going to be the holster, which is 12.9 weapon damage, 10.2 critical hit damage, and 10% hazard protection. Would love to have max on everything there as well. Now for the knee pads, I do have the Yaw, which gives me 10% hazard protection, 120k bonus armor, which I would love to have this max because this build can get up to 1.3 high. Like if you actually, I'll show you in the stats, you can see exactly how much armor you have, and it actually rounds up if you get close to you know, a certain amount. I want to say it's about 500 over or something like that. I'll explain it to you guys here shortly, but so the hazard protection again for the Yaw, 17.7 repair skills, which, you know, 12% hazard critical hit damage would be replaced there if I could do that, and 10% hazard protection. So this build would be sitting at 1.3 million armor, but I have 1.2 because I'm lacking maximizing, min-maxing my gears. So would love to have hazard protection. Critical hit damage. Now for the Grupo glove, I am running that, which gives me 15% critical hit damage, 13.2 weapon damage, 9.3 hazard protection, and a mod, sorry, not a mod, 11.2 critical hit damage for the other attribute. So if you guys haven't noticed already, I'm stacking a lot of hazard protection and critical hit damage on this build. For the last piece, I am running the 1-piece Badger Tufts, which gives me the 10% shotgun damage. So I do have 137k armor, 10.7 critical hit damage, 8.9 hazard protection, and I put a mod on here for 5.3 critical hit chance, just to get my critical hit chance a little bit higher than, you know, something that I would suit more for my play style. But versatile, if you guys aren't familiar with this, amplifies total weapon damage for 10 seconds when swapping between your primary and secondary weapons if they are different, which hence shotguns and SMGs, anything within 15 meters, which those guns are close quarter guns anyway. So as long as you're swapping, you know, not too fast, because there's cooldowns on swapping, and it's pretty cool. Versatile gives you a cooldown for each weapon type. when I first saw this, I was like, you're gonna have a cooldown for, you know, everything at once, like. But it's actually pretty cool. So you can swap to your SMG and then shotgun and then back to your SMG if right. You know, you're not gonna get a double time, but you can look at your cooldown and control the situation a little bit better on your damage output. So for the skills, I am running a defender drone. I don't ever talk about these mods, but let's go ahead and get right into it real quick, just briefly. 7.1 deflect duration, 5.6 damage reduction, and 9.4 health, just to get this thing up there. I don't have any skill tiers, so it's not really doing much, but it is good to have. I think it's 10.6 PvP damage reduction for, you know, how much ever long it lasts. And then of course I am running a jammer pulse, because if you're running a hive or if you have a fire starter or something like that, I don't want you to even try to put me on hazard. Not that it's really gonna matter, but it's just pretty much shutting down your ability to even think about using anything. But like I said, this build, I do use this. It's probably one of my top 3 builds that I like to run, because hazard protection, tanky builds, and DPS builds are really nice to have. Skill builds are nice to have. There's different ways to run this. Like I said, you could do 3-piece 511, but we're gonna get into the stats before we talk about that real quick. So I do have 47% critical hit chance with 123% critical hit damage. I'm missing the 12%, so I could go up to 135.4 critical hit damage. I could switch out that mod that gave me 5% critical hit chance and put it here, but the vector needs to stay up there. This is already too low for me right here. I'm not the type of guy to have 60% critical hit chance, because that's just kind of. I'm cool with 40 to 50, 55. You know, the more the merrier. But let's get right down here. I'll show you guys the shotgun. Sorry, did want to show you that. Switch weapons. Oh, just passed it. So the Marine Super 90 has 35.3 critical hit chance with 113 critical hit damage. So again, I'm missing the critical hit damage. Now for the breakdown on the defense, I do have 1,193,968 armor. Like I said, if I did max out my 3 blues, I could probably get up to 1.3 million. It won't round up to 1.4, I don't think. I think you have to have 4 blues minimum to get that. I'm not sure if with 3 blues maxed out you can get 1.4 million, but the goodies are down here, guys. 87.3 hazard protection, 96.8 bleed resistance, which you only need 96% bare minimum to not catch on any type of status effect. 97.1 burn resistance. I could go 100% on all of this, just swap some pieces around. You know, if you guys don't know, you could probably put the Seska piece over here and put a Badger Tough down here. That way you have 3 blue mods. But like I said, that's up to you entirely. I have 87% all across the board. I barely feel anything. I don't feel blind. I barely feel you know, foam. Don't feel the bleeds or the fires, that's for sure. But this build is really good. It shines. It's amazing. I recommend it. Before I jump into something else, I do want to tell you guys that this decoy is amazing. I don't know what it is, but it says that the distraction decoy creates a lifelike projection of a threat to hostiles, drawing their attention from the user. So, it doesn't say anything about PvP stats in here, but this thing like takes off your nameplate. Sometimes I'm fighting them and they drop this clone, and then I feel like they like instant transmission teleport to the side of me, and this thing works really good. That's all I gotta say. This thing has fooled me plenty of times. I don't know if it's broken. I don't think so, but I've started using it with this build, and people just start shooting the decoy, man. It's pretty funny. But I do want to say, now that we talked about this build, I just want to go briefly over this other build real quick. Now this is actually a hazard protection build, 3-piece 511. If I really wanted to use this version, I could just throw on the Seska which, you know, Seska with hazard protection, and then I'll have the blue mod slots, and if I'm not mistaken, this backpack I have, yeah, 6% critical hit chance. If I put the 10% hazard protection right here, come over here, look at these stats, 89.1 hazard protection. So if I put that 10% hazard protection, I will have 99.1 hazard, which will give me 99 hazard across the board. For the critical hit chance, it would go down 6%, so I'd be at 43.5 critical hit chance with 118 critical hit damage. This is another way to go, guys. It's up to you. This is I think I've actually talked about this. This is the clutch build, the hazard clutch build, but the way that I have it set up to annoy people is with the exotic holster. So just want to talk about that real quick as well. There's different ways to run this, but the way that I have this set up is 78 hazard, and I have max bleed, max fire. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching this. I will see you guys on the next one. Definitely enjoy the rest of your week.